And recently, the rumor of the 5 million golden card. What is your thought and what is the concept?
So that's a very good question, right? So the Trump administration, Donald Trump, announced the gold card in a press conference. It's a little unclear still exactly what the gold card is supposed to be. It seems certainly to be an immigration option or product, kind of a green card, maybe a path to citizenship. It's a little unclear. There also seems to be some sort of tax feature that will be part of the gold card, but it's still unclear. So we know very little about what the EB-5, what the gold card is going to be, and for that reason, it's a little surprising that the administration has said they've already sold some gold cards, because there's nothing to sell. It doesn't exist yet. Very recently, the administration launched a website for the gold card, and it's a relatively simple website. It doesn't have a lot of pages. It does have a field where individuals can fill out their name and their address to express interest in finding out about the gold card. But again, there is, to date, nothing that can really be invested into. So I applaud the Trump administration for recognizing the value of foreign direct investment and immigration programs bringing money into the United States. This is a good thing, and I think that the Trump gold card could certainly be a vehicle for that, in addition to EB-5. EB-5, of course, has been bringing this kind of money into the United States for decades. It's been creating jobs for U.S. workers. And so we're hopeful that at some point in time, the gold card may come into existence. And I think that there's a distinct possibility that EB-5 can coexist along with the gold card, just as an alternative pathway, perhaps with some tax features. But we'll have to wait and see.
I got it. So then, compared to the global investment or to other global investment programs, EB-5 remains one of the strongest and long-term residency option. So what is the Congress perspective on EB-5?
The Congress's?
Yeah.
I believe Congress is in favor of EB-5. There has been a distinct shift in investment under EB-5 after the set-aside categories were established by the Reform and Integrity Act, in particular in rural projects, because of the two features in the Reform and Integrity Act that benefit rural. Right? Rural gets 20% of the set-aside visas, as opposed to only 10% for high unemployment. And then rural is subject to something called priority processing, which we're seeing in practice means that petitions are approved in about 11 months, which is really very, very quickly for USCIS. So the fact that a lot of EB-5 money is flowing into rural areas in the United States is very significant, and I think something that Congress really has taken note of. So our hope is that when the EB-5 program does come up for reauthorization, the program will expire on September 30th, 2027. We believe that Congress will take that up. It'll be relatively straightforward for Congress to extend the EB-5 program. They can change a few dates in the Reform and Integrity Act and leave the provisions as they are, and the program would be extended. So we're hopeful that'll happen.
So that is your confirmation of the current, what is your confirmation of the current EB-5 and the future EB-5 expectation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good question because that is the way to look at it. Right now, EB-5 is the law of the land. There is no gold card. There is EB-5. We also know that there is a grandfathering provision in the Reform and Integrity Act that states that as long as a petition is filed before September 30th, 2026, that petition is going to be adjudicated, even if the program isn't extended. So that is the real sort of deadline, if you will, that I think people who are interested in EB-5 should be paying attention to. The gold card right now is really just a future concern. It shouldn't concern investors today. I think the gold card, the question of the future of the gold card comes into play when we consider what is the next stage for EB-5. Does the gold card come into the negotiation and the discussions that Congress will have when they're going to extend the EB-5 program? That's later. That's a medium-term problem. The short term, again, is EB-5 is here and is an immigration pathway and strategy that's available to people that want to move to the United States and get a green card.
Yes. Do you think in the future, maybe after the expiration date, the cost of the investment in EB-5 would increase or lower?
I think it'll increase, and in fact, I think it may increase before the expiration because there's a provision in the RIA that allows an increase based on the consumer price index. And I've seen some calculations that estimate the investment amount might go up to $900,000 or maybe more. So that could very well happen. Again, the real deadline for people is, again, September 30th, 2026. But certainly, that is also something that I think people should be aware of.
Got it. Thank you very much. And do you have any words to our Kornova clients or the investor who are very interested in EB-5, or what is the word you want to offer to them at this moment?
Yeah, I think that an EB-5 investment is a big commitment for a family. It's a lot of money, and it's a somewhat complicated process. There's an investment component to it, there's an immigration component to it, but I think for individuals that really want a green card and want to move to the United States, they should seize this window of opportunity in EB-5, because that window is closing, as I've explained, and we don't know yet exactly what the future of EB-5 will be. I'm very optimistic that EB-5 will continue, but right now there is this window of opportunity. So if people are really interested in EB-5, I would encourage them to come in and speak to the Kornova professionals to understand what are my options, what are my source of funds strategies, what projects can I invest in. I always like to say I've never had a client who told me they wish they would have waited longer to invest in EB-5. Usually people end up regretting not having done something sooner, and that's always unfortunate. So that would be my advice to people who are listening or watching. If you're interested in EB-5, act today.
Yep. Thank you so much for your insights today. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Yeah.